Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Tuesday edition of Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, and Dennis Dick. Hope you all had a nice, long, enjoyable Memorial Day weekend. We're trying to wake up this morning a little groggy, but we're getting through the morning. We have some interesting ratings this morning. Activision Blizzard, Gilead, Teva all getting or having ratings changes, upgrades, and downgrades. We're going to talk about the Fiat Chrysler merger reported over the weekend. We have earnings from Momo and BAH to discuss. We're going to break down. Seems like every weekend we get a Saturday rally in Bitcoin. So we'll talk about that, and we'll take your questions from our chat. Let's jump right into it, Joel. What is the word here in the market?
Flat. We traded Sunday night from 6 p.m. to noon on Monday, actually 1 p.m. on Monday. Fell short of Friday's high, which was 42 even. We got to 28.40, so there's your level on the upside. And we missed the intraday low from Friday at 20.75 here at Friday's low was at 20.75. Current low 22 even, just unchanged now. So not a lot of movement over the weekend here. So we'll keep an eye unchanged at 31.75. Crude finally getting a little bit of a rebound here. A big red day on Thursday, unable to recover, but up 48 cents here at 59.11. Needs to get back over $60. Gold down $2 at 1281.60. Gold still kind of holding that 1270 to 1300 trading range. Silver in the red by 13 cents at 1442.5. And don't look now, Bitcoin up $715 at $8,845. And everyone in both chats, guess when Bitcoin made its move?
Over the long weekend.
Is that a
We've talked about this on the show for a long time, and we've obviously had rants on it too. I maybe it's selective perception on my part. I've never actually done full research to analyze it, but I would love to see a research paper. But we know Bitcoin, probably suffers from some manipulation. It happens in all markets, and in unregulated markets, it's going to happen a lot more. And it always seems like over the course of a long weekend, a holiday weekend, even on the weekend itself, that's when it has its biggest moves. Why is that? If you're trying to push the price of Bitcoin higher, you're going to do it when liquidity is at its lowest point. Think about it. Everybody's away in the long weekends, and you want to get this price higher. That's when you're going to move it. So you know what? The play has been for a long time to buy Bitcoin ahead of the long weekends because it seems like that always has a nice, strong move on those holiday weekends.
Yeah, but don't you think the bears would be out there defending their position a little bit?
I don't think there's a lot of people who are shorting Bitcoin, though. I don't think there's a lot of people who come in here. I think there's buyers and there's sellers, and I don't know how much short people are coming in here and making a bit bold call to short Bitcoin. So I don't know. I don't think it's not normal. You can do it through the futures, but the futures contracts we know don't have a lot of volume. I don't know how you go about shorting Bitcoin, with a crypto wallet or using maybe there's ways. I'm not a crypto trader, but I don't think it's as simple.
Difficult. I looked into it.
I don't think it's easy to do. So, and that's an argument too, how efficient is the market when it's very difficult to short the thing. So, obviously through the futures, there's different ways here now, and you can get short Bitcoin, but you never hear of a lot of people coming in here with huge Bitcoin positions. They either like it and own it, or they don't like it and they don't trade it like us. So, it's difficult, but we've been actually bullish on this show for Bitcoin for a while. And I've already said, I don't, believe in the long-term story here, but we look at the technicals, and the technicals have looked good for 2 months. We talked about it at 4,000. We talked about it at 5,000. We talked about it at 6,000. I kept saying I would not be short this Bitcoin. And we talked about it last week when it was 8,000. I said I think it's going to 10,000. I still think it's going to 10,000. So, where it goes long run, I don't know either, but I'm not a believer that's going to 100,000 or 1 million and it's going to be the currency of the future. I don't believe that personally, but I'll tell you, the technicals are good on this thing.
And boy, we should, Jeremy. What about Jeremy Newsom's text from about a week and a half ago? He was, I mean, he's been bullish at a couple different points, but he liked it on the long side as well.
He's liked it on the long side for a long time. Jeremy, he has been,
permeable.
Yeah, permeable on crypto, and maybe there is something to it. Like, I've said it before. If you're gonna be in crypto, I think it's Bitcoin. I do think it's Bitcoin. And you can see the other ones have not, the other ones haven't come back nearly as much as Bitcoin has. I mean, it's still 50% off its highs. So it's not like, or even more than that, like 55% off its highs. So it's not all the way back. But if you're going to be in crypto, I think that's going to be the one. I just don't know about the long-term story. I don't know if it's going to be the currency of the future. There's so many issues, with, it's not that easy to make a transaction with it yet. And that was supposed to be the whole thing. But I mean, when these transactions aren't that smooth as, just handing money over or using your MasterCard or Visa, it's got to figure that out. Maybe it does, maybe eventually everybody's using cryptocurrency, but, I'll be doing a lot of adjusting in a hurry because I own zero crypto.
JV Spec owns it, GBTC at 5 on your Triple D call there. And
nice, JV.
Also bought some Ethereum, and we were just talking.
I should have bought some. I guess I should have bought. We were talking technicals on it. We liked it, but I can't bring myself to own something that, first of all, I don't completely understand. So I shouldn't always be just trashing it because I don't completely understand it. But we look at it technically, Joel. We've kind of liked it lately.
What about
we actually got Bitcoin pretty right. I mean, the initial we got it wrong, but you were long it at one point in time. Yeah. Despite not being believers, we've actually traded it pretty well, at least on the show and our commentary.
Yeah, it's and I talked about the GBTC, and you made a good point that it's done okay on the rally because it has doubled the GBTC. Yeah. It's actually getting close to it. I don't know. It's weird, but the all-time high in that, and maybe I'll try and get Michael Sonnenschein on the show. The all-time high was $38.71. It's going to be over $11 today. So, right there, it hasn't participated as much on the
up. Yeah, it's what? Over 70% off the highs. Bitcoin's only 56. So it's not tracking perfectly. It's tracking closely, but definitely not perfectly. So there's something going on there, and I don't follow that instrument enough to tell you why it's not tracking perfectly. I'm sure there's some issues with trying to figure out how it's holding the Bitcoin. But anyways, it's definitely not tracking perfectly.
All right. Well, we got some stock news too here with the futures down a buck. And where do you want to start, Spencer? You want to start with Aladdin or?
Let's start with this auto merger. Okay. Fiat Chrysler has proposed a $40 billion merger with Renault, of French automaker. It would make the combined company would become I believe the third largest automaker in the world. So they sent their proposal out, and Renault, I think, is expected within the next week or two to formally decide on whether or not they want to whether or not they're going to agree to this merger. It's a merger of equals. I mentioned the number $40 billion. I haven't seen an actual price or a ratio.
So this is still just a rumor right now, though. Nothing confirmed?
Not confirmed from the companies, no, but it's out there that this is out there. So.
And that's why you're seeing Fiat Chrysler with a huge lift this morning. I mean, the stock was in the gutter, so this is getting a lot of money back in a hurry, up over 8%. I mean, when stocks are in play, technicals go away. So we don't know enough information to know even where the price is yet. I mean, obviously some market commentary or the market is speculating, but I mean, it's difficult to come in and just look at something technically when you've got in the stock potentially going to get acquired and we don't know the price.
This stock has been really an underperformer this year. Spencer, I remember you saying over the last couple of weeks, like, what's going on with Fiat Chrysler? What's going on with Fiat Chrysler? And it's just got annihilated. And we're trading up $1.05 in the pre-market. Now, you do have, I mean, the chart is almost impossible to interpret here, but
because it's ADR too, so it's all chopped up.
I see nothing up to $15 basis the dailies here. That was your high back on the 17th. I don't know. What was the news on the 17th? If we went from 1483 to 1337, maybe that might have been earnings, but man.
No, that was Trump delaying auto tariffs.
That was Trump delaying auto tariffs. Okay. Well, throw in the tariffs, throw in a potential merger, and I have absolutely no idea what to do with this stock. 15 is resistance. That's what I'll give you, and see what the numbers come out. If this is actually a merger.
Jump over just other stocks in the news here, and there's not a ton, but we did have a couple earnings stocks here. I took a flyer. I never do this. I bought Momo into the earnings report. I literally bought it almost at the close to just take it through the earnings report. And the reason I did that, and I'm being rewarded somewhat for it here this morning, is the stock was in the gutter going in. So I'm like, well, expectations are super low for this. And I've played it once already. I had it in my swing portfolio from 25 to like 35 or 36 bucks. So I've already had a nice hit on it from a swing trading perspective. So I decided to try it again from a swing trading perspective, but taking it through the report, which is gutsy. So the two reasons: one is that, like I said, it was weak going into the reports. I think expectations are lower. Second thing is Chinese companies, and sometimes they miss. And I mean, we saw Weibo get hit, we saw Sino get hit, but they also weren't beat up as much going into the report as well. But typically, you look at these things and they beat a lot of times, and they have different accounting principles over there. But it was just so beat up going to the report. I didn't think that they were gonna, really, and for lack of a better word, blank the bed. And that's why I took a flyer on it. So one, being a Chinese company, they don't usually miss big time. And two, expectations were very low going in.
Well, the numbers are reading them out for you right now. You're right. They did not miss. The Q1 EPS 62 cents versus a 54-cent estimate. Sales of 554 versus $526 million. So they beat on both estimates for EPS and sales. And looking at just the calendar and pro, since Momo's IPO, they have not missed estimates ever. In 3 years.
And one thing, and we do see some Chinese companies miss, so I don't want to say it all, but it's different accounting principles over there, guys. So it's always, I'm not saying none of these companies cook the books, but I'm implying that their accounting standards are not our accounting standards, and I think they can sometimes be loose. And that there's sometimes a reason why they've never missed before. You've never seen them miss.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
The stock goes down and really in the gutter into the report, and they never missed before. They didn't miss again. So obviously
call,
a little bit. That was a good call on my part. The only reason, so I would not do this if it wasn't a Chinese company. But anyways, that's different strategies, different. I'm walking carefully with what I'm saying here, but you kind of get what
I'm gonna take over the mic here.
Take it over. You get my idea, Joel. You get it. You get the trade.
Hey, what are those black limos pulling up in front of the building, Spencer? With guys in suits. No,
guys in
Canada.
Suits. Not liking what I'm saying.
Yeah, this is in Canada.
Implying the cooking of the books over from Chinese company. Not saying Momo is specifically doing. Just saying they have different accounting standards over there. We know that.
27.88 was just a quick pop that you got on this last 15-minute bracket. And I think that's all great and fine and dandy, but I really think you need to hold the last two highs of the session, 27.13, 27.22. You hold that, and then you got a triple top at 28. So I know you're holding on for this long term, Dennis, but you better hold 27.20 off the bat. And if you really want to see some follow through, you got to plow through 28.
What's it been doing pre-market? Tell me about the pre-market.
It hit 27.88.
So it's off.
Yeah. So
and that's the one consideration here too, is I probably should almost just be selling pops, and this has just been doing this for a day trade because it is in the gutter. There is overhead supply all over the place. I mean, if we, have more, Trump issues are going to obviously take over here too. And every Chinese stock is sitting, if not at a 52-week low, very near 52-week lows. I mean, we've talked about them. Baidu has been absolutely decimated, really. Alibaba has just been killed back down to 155 bucks. You can look at the EEM and it's been killed too. Chinese stocks are massively underperforming, and we know it's all because of the trade deal. So if you get a deal, if we ever do get a deal, these stocks are going to probably get a significant lift. But until we get the deal, they're probably still going to be selling the rallies. So talking against my book